This is not about to be one of those get shredded in 3 weeks videos, or when you see those people online say, if you're tired of being stuck in the gym and not seeing results, click my link in the bio for one-on-one coaching. Yeah, no, that's not what I'm trying to do here. What I will be teaching you is how to realistically lose weight and keep it off without absolutely going insane. And I think that's the hardest part for most people. There's so much online that teaches you that you have to live this all or nothing lifestyle. And that type of mentality just never worked for me, and I feel like there is a better way of doing stuff, and other people should know that. So I'm going to break down the 3 major things I think are important or essential whenever you're trying to lose weight, how to stay consistent once you apply those things, and the psychology behind motivation and discipline, and why people can't stay motivated and disciplined when they're trying to lose weight. So if you're finally ready to change your body and keep it that way, let's get into it. I'm not stupid. I understand you have no reason to trust me. You don't know me. I'm just some random on the internet. So I will be bringing the receipts. Growing up, I was never really all that big. I mean, I liked food, but not more than anybody else. Somewhere along the way, food stopped being about nutrition and it turned into an emotional crutch for me. I mean, I ate when I was mad, sad, happy. I was eating 3 meals a day, 2 desserts, snacks. Ridiculous crap, okay? And obviously all that ended up catching up to me, and it wasn't until high school that I finally had the realization like, hey, Ken, I think we might be a little chubby. So I did exactly what everybody else does, and I decided to lock in. I got a gym membership, I stayed consistent, and I lost all of that weight. And then I got it right back again. This cycle repeated for years and years and years, and I could never figure out why. For the past few years, something has really clicked with me, and I've been able to maintain my weight and keep it off. And so I wanted to share how I did that, where I came to get all that knowledge, and how you can make it work for yourself too. Which leads us to where we are now. See, I told you could trust me. Let's start off with my 3 weight loss essentials. And the first thing is gonna be a calorie deficit. Now, I know you've heard so many people talk about calorie deficits, and the main preface is exactly what it sounds like. Everybody has a certain number of calories they're supposed to eat in a day to maintain their figure, and it's literally called your maintenance calorie amount. This is based off a few different factors like your age and your gender, but once you figure out what your maintenance should be, that's how you're going to find out what your deficit should be, and your deficit is what's going to help you to lose weight. And the easiest way, other than tracking your calories, to stay in a caloric deficit is cardio. For me, cardio is essential. A lot of people will say that you only should lift weights and you don't need to do cardio. I'm of the mind that cardio is king, it's essential. You should always be doing cardio whenever you go to the gym, even if it's just 20-30 minutes, something. My 2 favorite methods of cardio are going to be the Stairmaster and incline walking. Incline walking is really low impact if you have joint problems. You can burn a lot of calories in little time without feeling like you're exerting a lot of effort, so I love the incline walk on the treadmill for that. The Stairmaster is a beast. I mean, I used to go and do the Stairmaster for an hour a day when I first started losing weight, and I got absolutely shredded. I mean, it's such a hack when you're first starting out losing weight. Once you figure out your calories and how you're going to get into your calorie deficit, you need to figure out the calories you're going to consume. Which leads me to my second point, meal prepping. This is one of the most essential things when it comes to weight loss. You need to have your meals prepped out for you. If you don't, you're going to fall off every single time, I promise you. A lot of people think, me included, when I first started losing weight, that you can just go into it and blindly choose items that seemingly seem healthy, but they're actually not. And you don't know that until you sit down, read a label, and look at what a suggested serving actually is. Kind of crazy how many calories are in the items you think are really healthy, and how many grams of sugar a lot of the processed items that we're eating nowadays really do have. Looking back on it now, I used to be the type of person that would eat fast food 3 times a day and still think that I could eat more calories when I would come home at the end of the day. And now I'm just like, whoa, no wonder I gained weight so quickly, because I was eating a lot, like crazy stuff, crazy. Plan your meals. My favorite app to use to plug in items whenever I'm meal prepping is going to be MyFitnessPal. That's what I started using when I first lost weight in high school, and that's what I still use to this day. If I want to track how many calories a meal has or track how much protein I'm getting in a day, I still plug it into MyFitnessPal. You're less likely to fall into temptation because you already had that meal set up that you worked so hard to prep. So you're not gonna do it. I know it works for me because I have a little bit too much pride of when I cook things to just let it go to waste. So I always end up sticking to meal prep if I did prep it in advance. And at first it's gonna take you a few hours to cook everything, but once you get in the habit of doing it weekly, you'll be able to bust out a meal plan for the week in an hour and a half max. Third thing is carbs are not your enemy. And I wish somebody would have explained this to me when I first started losing weight, because you hear and read so much online where people tell you to cut out carbs, that's what you need to do because it's what's making you gain weight. But that's not how it works. Carbs are not your enemy. The way you're using carbs are your enemy. And nobody ever explained that to me. I mean, I really never knew. I just thought pasta, flour, bread, you cut all that stuff out because that's what's turning into sugar, fat, bad for you. That's all I really knew. I had no comprehension of complex carbs, how they were an energy source for you, what they can really do to fuel your body, your metabolism. But now that I know, I'm letting you know so you don't make the same mistake. Carbs are really fuel for your body when used at the right times. Ideally, you want to use carbs in one of two ways to either help you stay full or as an energy source before you go to the gym. The reason it's important for breakfast is because complex carbs like oatmeal keep you satiated throughout the day, so you're not craving other bad things like heavy starch items, fried foods, or it just stops you from snacking in general. So that's really good at the top of your day. And right before I go to the gym, I typically like to eat carbs as well. That's going to be your fuel source for while you're doing intense cardio or weightlifting in general. So you want to make sure you're eating some type of carb at least 30 minutes before you go to the gym so that you can really get a good workout in. Using carbs in the right ways is going to be so beneficial for your weight loss journey. Take my word for it, try it out. It's just essential. So now you have all the basics to start losing weight, but how do you implement those things and actually stay consistent? Well, I got you. Now, the biggest piece of all of this that I feel like is never discussed enough is lifestyle integration. How are you going to put all this to practice so that you can actually stay consistent with it, see the results, and maintain them? I'm an all or nothing type of person. I either like to be at 100 or at 0. That's just the way I am. So I had to find a way to stay on top of things without absolutely losing my mind. And the way I do that is by giving myself a little bit of something each day. For example, I'll have my lunch and then give myself 2 mini Snickers as a dessert. Or I'll eat 4 peanut M&Ms at the end of the night so I feel like I had a dessert. And it's because I'm watching my calories, but I still need to be able to have something so I don't feel like I'm losing it all. You also have to do this if you're the type of person who lives a social life, which is me. I like to go out, I like to have fun, but you have to do it mindfully, knowing you have a goal in mind of leaning out. So I stick to certain rules. If I am gonna go out, I only have high protein items. Rule of thumb, just stick with high protein items. Get the fajitas, ask for extra veggies, skip the tortillas, and bam. You'll be able to sit down, enjoy a meal with your friends without looking weird, and you'll be able to stay within your calorie goals. I also try to limit those interactions in general just because I don't want to be tempted when I'm going out. So my rule is if we didn't plan it in advance, I'm not going. I can't do the spontaneous hangouts anymore only because there's a certain lifestyle I'm trying to craft, and it is a trade-off for now, but it's gonna benefit me in the long run. Following those rules and tricks is how I stay consistent and I keep the ball rolling, but how do you stay motivated when you want to be consistent? Motivation in and of itself is an unreliable source for discipline, and your brain knows this. That's why it doesn't rely on motivation. Your nervous system doesn't like having to choose. It costs it a lot of energy, and energy is a finite resource, so it always tries to conserve it. So anytime you have to make a choice to do something hard, your brain is automatically going to choose not to do it, and that's why people tend to not stay motivated and disciplined. It's all entangled together, but that's how it really ends up working. People that you see who stay the most motivated or the most disciplined, they're not doing it out of sheer willpower. They set up systems for their brain to trick it to not make choices. If you're tired of waking up every single morning and opening up your phone and scrolling for hours instead of getting up, meditating, journaling, or getting a quick workout in, move your phone away from the bed. Make yourself get up out of bed to turn off that alarm, or put your phone in a completely different room. Say you were trying to read 10 pages a night before bed every single day. Make your bed in the morning and then put the book on top so the next time you try to get into your bed, that book's right on top reminding you, hey, it's time for me to read. Simple systems like that take away the energy required for you to make decisions, and it makes it so much easier to stay consistent. And your brain loves this. I mean, it absolutely loves this. You start doing this for a few weeks, a few months, and it becomes a habit, and you just do it naturally because you made it so that your brain doesn't realize you're putting in hard work. Obviously, everything's easier said than done, but once you implement these easy tricks into your lifestyle, things start snowballing and the momentum just builds on top of itself. Those are the things that I wish somebody had really broken down to me when I first started losing weight. I mean, I would have been absolutely shredded by now if that had happened, but you know better now and you do better, and that's what I'm trying to do. And as I'm growing and learning to be the best version of myself, I really wanted to share that journey with other people so that maybe you can grow and become the best version of yourself as well. So if you want to see more of my lifestyle or my journey in general, or you're trying to become the best version of yourself too, feel free to follow me on my socials or subscribe to me right here. And thank you for watching the video.